Hope you enjoyed that. I kind of like doing those videos where you run up something and then you get to the edge and you see just something that takes you by surprise and takes your breath away at the same time. I got a few of those videos. And then I thought to myself, man, this is totally impromptu, another off-the-cuff video. I was basically just going to talk about my climb to the top, but stick around for a couple minutes. I just got a great idea. So my climb to the top, I started, let's see here, and I'm not at the top, by the way. I started way down there, and I made it up. I did not know how I was going to come to the top, but I was looking at it. I actually thought about it for a few minutes, and it's like, I think I got time. Yeah, why not? I'm going to do it. I have no idea how I'm going to get to the top, but I'm going to decide to get started and figure it out along the way. And that's my formula for success for life, by the way. And it's always been, but I got that exact phrasing from Eric Worre. Just decide, say yes to getting started, and then figure it out along the way, and personally develop yourself so that along the way you can figure it out. That's a step a lot of people miss, the personal development. Developing thyself so that you can become the person that can do the thing, whatever it is you fill in the blank. But for this one, just use the analogy, plug it into whatever you want. I got started, a million zigzags up this thing. You know, every few steps or so, I'd stop, reflect, and figure out where I was, and so I can figure out where I could go from there. If I was going to go left, right, take that path, because I wanted to be safe. I don't want to fall to my death up here and prevent having to turn around and come back up. But that's part of the process too. Take a few steps up and no, this isn't going to work, a bit too dangerous. So then backtrack, go up. So that's sort of like a 2 steps forward, 1 step backward kind of thing. But eventually I figured it out. I got to the top. This is how I approach just about everything, you know, except maybe brain surgery, which is why I'm not a brain surgeon, or jumping out of airplanes with a parachute. You kind of want to get that right the first time. But otherwise, just about everything else in general, yeah, that's your formula for success. Make a decision, say yes, get started, figure it out along the way. Personally develop yourself so you can develop yourself into becoming the person who can. And as for me going up this little mountain, I didn't make it to the top. It's about dusk now. I need to start heading down. I'm gonna come back out here on a future trip, and then I'm gonna go all the way to the top. But now, you know, I know about how much longer it might take me to get to the top. I can do some better planning, get out here earlier, give myself a cushion on top of that, and then take more videos and pictures at the top, celebrate my victory. And so when I come back out here, I'm basically gonna be starting over from scratch. This is not a residual mountain climb. I'm not pitching a tent and gonna resume my efforts tomorrow. And that's the idea that I thought of. Everything else I was gonna say, but as I pushed the record button, I thought of that. It's like, damn, I gotta start all over. And I programmed myself so much to think residually and to think of exponential growth and passive this and that, and actively building and breaking my ties for money so that my time is no longer tied to money, so I've got freedom. But to go back to this climb being non-residual, this is the way that most people, because they don't know any better, so I'm not demonizing. I didn't know any better till, gosh, a few years ago. Your time is tied to money. That means you're a modern day slave to money. Don't click this off, just hear me out on this, because I'm not saying this to put you down or to insult you or anything like that. You know, if you think about it logically, that if you're working for money, you can't stop working beyond whatever benefits that you might get from your job. Like you might get some paid time off and things like that where you're not working, but you're getting paid anyway. But, you know, generally speaking, if you stop working, if you get fired, if you quit, then you stop getting paid. So your money is directly tied to your time is tied directly to your money. And there's no freedom in that. Love your job, absolutely love your job. Have pride in it, do the best you can, go over and above what's expected of you, because then you're more likely to be promoted and things like that. Love the people you work with, lift up your boss whenever possible, and you're just more likely to get the promotions. So I'm not saying to not do any of those things. What I am saying is that to depend on tying your time into money to feed your family, to put food on the table, keep the lights on, and to not basically end up homeless and in poverty. To depend on that kind of an income, so those things don't happen, so you do have means to pay the light bill, put food on the table, have a place to live, nourish your family. If your time is tied to money, then you are absolutely in slavery, modern day slavery, to money, because you cannot break that tie unless you do something else on the side that transitions into you being able to break your tie from money. And then at that point, if you want to keep your job, you can, because maybe you love it, but you're no longer depending on it to nourish yourself and your family. It's a big mistake to depend on an asset that you do not own, which is a job, which means you have no control over the value of that because somebody else owns it. And when you have no control over something, that equals the highest risk possible. No control equals high risk. Full control equals no risk. So think about that. Develop an asset that you can develop residually. Residual means never having to start all over, like I'm going to have to do with this mountain climb at some point if I want to go to the top. Residually means never having to start over. Let's say you build that asset that you own. First year, 50,000 bucks. Second year, you don't start all over at zero and try to earn 50,000 again. You build on that. That business, that cash flow is already established. So maybe the next year, 100,000, maybe $250,000. And the next year after that, maybe you're doing $1 million. This is how people that you hear about making $1 million in a couple of years or whatever, this is how they do it. They are involved in building an asset that they own, that they can build residually, and that eventually transitions into being pretty much a passive income. So residual and passive. They've also got all the tax breaks on their side. If you're working for money, such as a job, then you are penalized by the taxes. And the more money that you make, the harder you work, the more you make, the more you're penalized and the more you lose to the government. And that's a fact. That's not even an opinion. That is a fact. It's 99.9% of the tax code is written against you. But if you own an asset that you are building and developing, then you get to use all the tax breaks, which means you get to build it more quickly because you're putting much more money back into your pocket, available resources to keep building it. And that's a beautiful thing. And you get to build it residually so you don't have to start all over and keep trading your time for money. You get to break away from that so you have freedom and put money in its place where it belongs, which is not a priority. Working for money, you may not believe money is a priority, but just based on your actions, money is the priority because you need the money to nourish your family. It's that important. But if it's passive, then you don't need to work for money. You don't need to trade your time for it. You can live in freedom, and that money comes in anyway, and you have the security that you want for your family, which a job does not provide because you have no control. No control means highest risk possible. Full control, highest security possible. And you build it residually and passively, and you got all these things working for you. The taxes are on your side. So why not? As for this mountain, I got to get going because it is seriously starting to turn into nightfall and I want to be able to find my way back. I'm out here in the middle of the desert on a mountain. One cool thing about being up here, I will close off with this fantastic view of, I already gave you a panoramic shot, but check this out as I zoom in with my super duper zoom lens. See if you recognize that. You can see, that's Las Vegas, the stratosphere. Most people recognize that. There's some of the north end of the strip. There's Wynn and Encore getting into the southern end a little bit, and that's about it. Then the mountain starts to block it. See if I can zoom in on downtown. I haven't even done this yet since I've been up here. There's downtown. Wow, that's pretty neat. Can't make out any of the buildings from here, but that is downtown. The auto lighting on this camera is making it look brighter than it really is. It's actually going to start getting dark really fast now. Even the purple haze in the backdrop is pretty much virtually gone now. That's another thing. Next time when I come out here and I start building this thing from zero instead of residually, I'll get out here early enough to catch the sunset. Oh, that's going to be awesome. Doesn't look like that much further to go, but the desert is a master of creating illusions, nature made. It's very beautiful. But things are not as they appear out here at all. So I'm sure that's a lot further away than it looks. And as for my trek back down, there we go. Well, as spectacular as this is, I've got to get going. Thanks for watching the full length of this video for those of you that made it. You know what? Shoot me a private message in some facet and let me know you made it to the end of this video. I will just be tickled to death to know that you did and to know that you followed my call to action to let me know you made it. And also I want to let you know to go to tomberkenmeyer.com. I know a lot of stuff and I take a lot of really cool videos and interesting pictures and so on and so forth, and dig around, pull out of it whatever makes sense for you with where you are at right now. And remember the formula for success. The third part was to develop yourself personally so that you can be equipped to become the person that can achieve whatever it is that you dream about. Get the personal development that you need to equip yourself to become the person that can achieve whatever you want. That's what I do. Decide to say yes, decide to get started, figure it out, develop yourself personally. Take care, everyone. The next video is coming soon. I can say that pretty confidently because I make videos pretty regularly. Leading an inspired life. I love to be inspired, and as I'm inspired, I have to channel it through and pay it forward. It's just who I am. So enjoy that, and I'll see you later till the next video, which is coming very, very soon. Bye, guys and gals.